How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This past Saturday was the first BFL of the 2024 season down in Kentucky Lake. It was a rough one, guys, for the lake and for me personally. The guy I drew, which I'm actually going to do a segment on him at the end because he's a great guy and he deserves some recognition. But the tournament, the boater I drew said that the lake was the roughest he'd ever seen Kentucky Lake, and he has fished it for like 40 years. So, it was super rough. We didn't know if we were going to make it back or not. We ran way south. I got soaking wet to start the day, and I was literally soaked head to toe before I ever even got to our first spot. I had my rain suit on and stuff, but it shot right down my back and down my front, and just when I stood up, literally water was running out of my pant legs. So I was trying not to freeze to death with the 30-mile-per-hour winds, and, the water temps were only like in the upper 40s, low 50s, and, with the wind chill, the air temp was like, around like freezing and stuff. So, it was a rough day for me. My boater, he's a great dude, heck of a fisherman. He was able to scrap together like, I think 4 keepers. He had like 6 or 7 bites, something like that. But again, like I said, I just had one short, lost a keeper probably right at the boat. It hit me right at the boat, so I wasn't able to get a good hook set in him. But anyway, so I'm going to start rolling the footage. This first little clip you're going to see is of me basically just showing where I had to take my rain jacket off and try to dry out in the wind and what sunshine there was. And guys, on the way to our first spot, I actually took the GoPro off because just so much water was coming in and stuff. I didn't want to ruin my GoPro, and, I didn't want to risk any, thing getting ruined or anything like that. So I actually put it in my bag, which I'm lucky I put it in the part of the bag I did because I ended up with about 2 inches of water in the bottom of my bag. And thankfully I had the GoPro sitting on top of all my tackle trays. So, the water did start, or the wave started calming down as the day went. And thankfully we were able to make it back and stuff safe. But the first couple hours, guys, were really sketchy. But anyway, let's get into the actual fishing now. And I will see you guys at the end of the video. Net. Going? Don't need the net.
Not positive.
Oh. There you go.
Bigger than my belly was. How far out? 4 foot be too far out. And do that. I knew it was flat. Knock it off.
There's one.
Maybe.
Oh crap, get him in the boat. Better. Nah, he's gonna be about 14. He knocked the slack in it like you were talking about. Hook right at the top of the mouth too, right where you want them. Nah, you ain't gonna be. 14 and a quarter. No, they're definitely liking the chatterbait. So, guys, it was definitely a rough one for me. I'm kind of in this funk right now where I just have a hard time catching keepers. That even goes back to last season. I really don't know what the deal is. I wish I did, but I'm not doing much different than what the guys were doing that caught them. So, I threw a chatterbait, I threw crankbaits, I threw a shaky head just for a little bit, drug a football jig, just for a little bit. I mean, I tried everything, and just couldn't make it happen. So, and like I said, though, I was glad to be safe. As cold as I was, it could have been dangerous, honestly, and I don't want to get dramatic about it, but even after I got off the water, I just didn't feel like I was mentally all there. I was struggling from being cold and wet all day. And, I'm just thankful that, I didn't face any, any repercussions from that. And, I'm just thankful. And, sometimes, catching a fish is kind of the least of your worries sometimes. So that's kind of how that tournament ended up being for me. But getting to my boater, I drew Edward Gettys. A lot of guys just call him Ed. He is a legend in the sport that you don't hear about. And, I mean, the guy, between Major League Fishing and Bassmaster, has fished like 300 tournaments, and he has won almost $400,000. And he was like the OG ledge fisherman of like Kentucky Lake. I mean, the guy was out there. He was telling me stories about how he had to used to look at a lake map and then like find markers on the bank to try to figure out, where his spots were on the ledges, because they didn't have like, the electronics that they could go out and just map their spots and stuff. And they said you'd have to find them, and if your fish moved any, you had to, scout out that way, and then you'd have to mark where they moved to. And, just he was out there doing it before it was cool. And I mean, this is the same guy that was telling me stories about trying to like teach, he actually fished in the boat with Kevin Van Dam and like showed him different like crankbait techniques and stuff like that, and was actually one of the guys that helped Kevin Van Dam be more comfortable throwing a crankbait and stuff. So I mean, this guy deserves more recognition than what he has, and it's a name that a lot of guys should know, because he literally is a legend of the sport that I don't think not enough people know about. I mean, if you're around the Kentucky Lake area, you obviously know who he is, but I mean, like I said, he literally like is an old school fisherman that has still been able to adapt through the years with the electronic changes and stuff, and is still pretty successful in the sport. So, I mean, he's a great dude, one of the best boaters I've ever had, super nice guy. He felt bad that I never caught a keeper, and, he wanted to get to his spots and stuff, and we didn't get to fish any of his stuff because, we weren't able to get there because we just had to end up stopping and fishing because of the waves and stuff. So, anyway, he's a great guy, so I thank him for that. And that's pretty much it, guys. There wasn't a whole lot to really discuss about this tournament, but if you guys would, please subscribe to the channel. There's going to be a lot more content this year, and also, too, please follow our social media links. But for now, guys, that is it. So I will see you next time. God bless you. Be careful out there. And we've got some good content coming up, so stay tuned for that. See you.